Hi, I'm Mike Glowpot Digital Camera, and this is our review of the Canon PowerShot SX40 HS, which is the latest 35 times optical zoom super zoom from the company. That equates to a 24 to 840mm zoom, which is very significant indeed, but we'll check to see what else has been updated since the previous SX30 IS in this review. The biggest shift comes in the form of the SX40's new backlit 1/2.3 inch CMOS sensor. It's out with the old CCD technology of its predecessor and in with the new, as this latest CMOS is paired with Canon's HS system and DIGIC V processor. Thanks to the new sensor, the SX40 HS images are a treat. Shots are vibrant with colour and succeed in balancing out all manner of scenes under various lighting conditions, and JPEGs come straight out of the camera with a richness and vibrancy. Shots taken at ISO 1600 limit image noise successfully, and while a little grainy, are of very good quality. Sit them against the competition and the Canon shots are the favourites. However, the lack of raw shooting is one notable absence. With the likes of the Fuji HS20 and Lumix FZ150 offering raw shooting, we do wonder why this is still missing from the Canon super zoom repertoire. As per all super zooms, there's a payoff between having such a vast zoom range and image quality sharpness. While the SX40 isn't going to provide DSLR-like results, its 24 to 840mm zoom is a darn good and far cheaper alternative. The SX40's most prominent feature is obviously its huge zoom. With a wide-angle 24mm setting that can power through to 840mm, there are a few other cameras out there to match it, particularly at the wide end. As well as this, there's a 10.3 frames per second burst mode which can capture up to 8 shots in one high-speed burst at full resolution. However, this can only be accessed through the scene options here. If you want to use the burst mode in any of the other modes, it's capped off at 2.4 frames per second, so perhaps needs to be taken with a pinch of salt as it's not quite as fast as it may seem in all circumstances. The SX40's design is a carbon copy of the SX30 that came before it. In many respects this is a good thing because the build quality is decent and it does have the tilt angle screen that you can see here. But in other respects it just feels a bit lazy. The screen itself is only 2.7 inches in size, which feels a little bit dated, so it's perhaps a bit of a shame that Canon didn't put some more effort into changing and upgrading some of the features of the camera. As well as the 2.7 inch 230K LCD screen, there's also a 0.2 inch electronic viewfinder above this, and while it's not the best viewfinder in the world, it's certainly useful to have, particularly when shooting at the longer focal ranges. And above that again, underneath this plastic casing, there's a hot shoe fitting, so you can add an external flash should you so wish. When in use, the SX40 has a reasonable autofocus system, but compared to some other models such as the Panasonic Lumix FZ150 that's come out recently, it can't quite match up to that in terms of speed. The SX40 is available for around £460, so it's certainly not a cheap camera, but it's got a lot of positives going for it. We like the build quality, and the image quality is better than any super zoom camera that's out there. It also performs pretty well, but it perhaps doesn't stand up to some of the competition such as the Panasonic Lumix FZ150, even though this Canon has a larger zoom at 24 to 840mm. It's a shame perhaps that Canon hasn't added more provisions over the previous SX30 model, but for what it is, this is one of the best super zooms that you can buy, and overall we gave it 88% and our recommended award.